Detective Boys. Rampo Edogawa. Black Demon. That person is systemic, such as painted black. Was that guy a frightening black? Rumors of Black Demon is, and the other, but had spread in Tokyo. Also to wonder. Clearly, people who assess that person of true character did not have anyone. That person is, because it does not represent the appearance only into the darkness. Something in the darkness, of the same color as the darkness, and the hazy, even know that you are wriggling, whether it is any man, or whether it is a woman, even whether you're an adult to a child, is that I do not know for sure. Uncle of a lonely mansion show night watch is long in front of the blackboard wall, and you have to walk while striking the cover tree of example, part of the blackboard fence, as also in the torn off, exactly the same color as the board fence is the kind of man who is, represents the figure to the middle of the Lankian road, in front of the uncle of lanterns, and bared a pure white teeth, and I think we laughed in Karakara, as saw in Black Wind. Where was that had I run is to do. Uncle of the night watch, taken in the morning, but was allowed everyone to hear talking about that person figure is, seems to be laughing floating from thing a little black, to like white just teeth chew. Anna, with you bad it was not, and still blue face, or else, the fear likely, while turning around and along the back, did speak, in the evening of a certain darkness, boatman of one person that had cooted the Sumida River. It was noticed to have passed the strange waves beside his ship. Star also not that of the dark night. Kawasui was black as ink, but each time the tower hangs up the water, just pale white wave passes. However, the wave of the turret apart, constantly to ship butter, not stood a strange white caps, like was the wave, such as swimming people. However, just look a wave of such form, the human figure is. I do not stop to even the eyes a little. Boatman says that it has so much of the mystery. I feel like has been showered water to Zoe and back muscles. But put out a fake stoicism, in a loud voice, to swim hand invisible of its appearance. It is that was yelled. Hate the swimming there, who was. Then, it stops white waves such that each of the water a little. Just, to around here with a guy in the face which is not visible to the eye. Called the white ones appeared. If you look closely, it was a man of the front teeth, that white thing. Only a white front teeth, and fluffy and drifting on top of the black water. And Karakara, we called, began to laugh in the eerie voice of example. Boatman, is that too much of the fear? On the other feverishly, that ran away rowing a boat without seeing even a trace. In addition, there was also such a funny story. Beautiful night of a month. Standing still in here above Ueno Park. The moon was looking at one of the college students, and suddenly notice, on the ground at the feet, but your shadow is shifting to the black people. Strange in particular, if the shadow does not move even a little. How much or shook his head or moving the hand. More of the shadow is not to be stuck to sit still. College students has become increasingly poor you. Nanti is not moved-eyed, only shadow. Is horrible that if you think about it, by chance yourself whether my there then was unlike even in the gas. No longer sit still anymore. College students, referred to as, began to walk suddenly. Then, oh, will of what was, shadow is not moving after all. College students, 3 meters from there, also when accustomed to the 5 meters. Shadow just does not move even a little. On the basis of the ground, it is lying. College students, too much of the eerie. It will and paralyzed, and, for me not to see how much, as you are bad at worst. Rather its shadow, could not help not stare. However, thus while you are staring it was going to be more frightening. The middle of the face of the shadows suddenly turned white as asked, biting into that shadow is to open the mouth. I showed the white teeth, and I have heard the laughter, the Karakara example. Everyone, look, imagine a place where his own shadow laughed and bared teeth. I think there is such a thing you bad in the world. Expected of university students, it is up in pride, is that ran away without looking also after. It is after all, it was a black demon of example. When you try later thinking, because college students I was heading to the moon, that the supposed shadow is behind, in front of the eye, because the thing that lay the figure of the black people and the people with my eye did I mistakenly think that shadow. And in that way, rumors of black demon, the day went as high as one day, and have jumped out of the darkness. Toka tried to shimeo the neck of passers-by. Night. Toka when a child is walking alone. Wrap the child as if it were black furoshiki. Will go lying flop on the ground. Wide variety of rumors is transmitted. Ghost stories for a ghost story. Young daughter and, like small children, are gone already scared up. It has become more never night to go out. This demon is in the fairy tale of the old days. Did the same thing as to have a magic cloak of invisibility. Because magic cloak of invisibility is, once you put the mino to the body, no longer seem to drown out the figure of a person. While I think trying to do in person, even if that kind of bad concern is captured that there is no but a handy magic, black demon is, in the same way, merges some of darkness, could be able to Klamath catching. Black of the Aborigines of the Indian and Southern Ocean is not the black of true. The body of the monster is, more than any dark black, more black. Reached blackness is the climax. There is no difference to have finally become more unexpected also visible to the human eye. Black demon is, and in the darkness, in front of a black background, is also true ninjutsu sukai. It remains. But I think any mischief, if that person is, what about if they plotting something terrible wrong, and leave the bad things, if become captured so, suddenly, merges into the darkness, because I hope once disappeared, never like this easy. In addition, come to the better catch. I do not like this troubled other party. The black demon. What someone really, what a man, what woman, what adults, what a child, and also, a black silhouette. Not may if this enigmatic is. Will that trying to do exactly? Just or jumped from the blackboard wall, swim through the black water, or lying on the ground is in the shadow of the people? Or will O only be glad to an innocent prank? No, no, I am quite sure that I will not be the case. Kyatsuwa, something. There is no difference though is plotting the door should not be wrong. On earth, what kind of that will to commit evil? Those that fight by turning the devil over there. Boy detective team led Kobayashi Boy. 10 boys Tantidan that are not organized by the brave elementary school. Grandmaster is a catchy detective's name is known Kobayashi assistant Yoshio Boy. The Kobayashi Boy of the teacher. Of course large detective Akechi is Kogoro. Japan and private name detective. Detective boys under its control. Partner. Phantasmagoric of black monsters such as ghosts. Oh, this fight is. Will be had a fight. Monster track. Monster that was the same color as the darkness. Represents the figure there to here in Tokyo. In the darkness. That cackle peeled white teeth. Bad rumors of a Tsukimi is quickly spread in Tokyo. Also a newspaper it grew bigger right away. People who took a year. I'm sure he intended devilish is the mischief, and no difference in the monster. But or else we mutually rumors to you evil likely. Young people, not bring myself to believe the mystery haunted it could have. It is still routinely in human beings. Somewhere in the stupid guy is. To imitate such a whopping. Was thinking what are amused. However, as the day goes on, whether to ghost, whether in humans, the black guy, just not only are the mischief, is the fact that must have plotting a terrible evil something, has been gradually revealed. When you consider at a later, the emergence of the black monster, it became the clue of quite unusual crime. Events I was angry about the Tokyo, but the person who is involved in it, not only Japanese, was the so-called international crime. So, from now on, a prank of black demon is the events that go on behalf of the likely gradually crime form. Let's talk out the order. Well, you know the reader gentlemen in the boy detective team to get to the headed by Kobayashi boy. There was a boy named Yushoichi Katsura-kun Yu out as in the wayside of Tamagawa train of Setagaya Ward. Hashiba Takeshi ni but was unlike princes of the school, because the Shoichi and Mr. Takeshi Tukun things cousin each other. Stabbed to the Zhuang Tukun I joined the boy detective team to crack Katsura-kun. He not only entered the Tantidan, also a view out on the wayside of Tamagawa train, and invited classmates of Shinozaki Hajime-kin. Did you join the ranks in Futari? That of a certain night. Mr. Shoichi Katsura is in a place where spaced about the train one stop. Ask the outyu of Shinozaki-kun, in Shinozaki-kun of the study room, or trough the homework together, or by the talk. But I was playing until about 8 o'clock. Then, on the way back to your out, I had met a terrible thing. If once it was a cowardly boy, but I walked the street with a little detour. Katsura-kun boy at school, as much as has been the sumo players. Because it was the bold boy with remember to arm. Back alley a shortcut, walked with teka-teku. Both sides and long board fences. Concrete walls in, hedges only. Street lamp also dim. It will be a late night. Exactly, there is no loneliness pedestrian traffic. Because I was in the spring. The climate is I know not at all cold. Thus, if you were walking like death withstand the night on the town, such as somehow the place of the neck, it will feel uku and thrilled, and bent one of the corner. If you look at the before in highway, under the other side of the street lamp about 20 meters, we will walk the block empty. It is, and the funny thing is, hat is also not fogged, not even wearing kimono, as a habit, from the top of the head to toe. It is the figure of the people of black as ink. Indeed of Katsura boy also, and a look at this strange empty, it will and paralyzed as though it may be that guy, it might be high black demon of rumors. Heart has become a pounding. Those cold spine as ice. Ran a smooth stop. Katsura, it is a little more of it, was about to escape back to full speed. However, it did not run away. It was Fumita with difficulty. Katsura-kun, that he is a member of the boy detective team that honor. Began to think. In addition, right now, in Shinozaki-kun of the house, and the story of the black demon. If you met that person, I but all represent seeing the true colors. Once, I just have to say great things. Katsura, you are the thought of detective boys. It has been suddenly out courage. Hiding in the shadow of the hedge. And you stared. Monster. Even a little is that there are people behind in a state which is not tired of care. We will walk to dance unsteady steps. Mistake you do not have a look. Certainly the whole body of black is the figure of a person like a black cat like. I still do not a ghost or ghosts. Looking at the place where walking no difference in human beings. Katsura-kun. Boldly, so as not to be convicted in the other party. I decided to all put after it along. Monster, like the shadow of ground. Stand up and dizzy. Something like began to walk as it is. We will stay away and Gungin. Terribly his fast feet. Katsura-kun, while hiding to things cage. That chasing an opponent. It was barely out of town. If you go a little unpopular Hiropa, the hall of a large temple. It looked towering like a ghost in the starry sky. It is an old temple from the Edo era Yo Minamoto Terra. Black demon is along the hedges of the Yo Minamoto Terra, but was walking with unsteady steps. Eventually, from where it was torn of the hedge, I have entered into the back of the temple. Katsura-kun, but it has become increasingly poor you, because it is too late to yosu the tail. Sorry. Clenched both hands. Put a jerk in power in the lower abdomen. From the tear of the same hedge. Shinobi to Terauchi of darkness. It was crowded. Looking it, there was one side of the cemetery. Old and new of, or a myriad of monument is. on the ground that were mossy and damp. We are narrow-lined place, and the stars in the sky, in the faint light of the night light, by them of rectangular stones, are floating pale white. Katsura-kun but was a modern boy who does not believe in such ghost story, and know that there is a cemetery, which buried my countless dead, could not help without the creeps. Monster. A narrow passage of between the monument and the monument. Turn left, turn right, as in the home that he knew the guide. We will go to the middle and Gungin. Black shadow is a white stone monument in the background. It looks lifted and more clearly. Katsura-kun, while writing the drenched cold sweat to the whole body, was pursued patiently after that. Fortunately, here, because it is what the back is low, hiding the stone monument of the shadow, ran restlessly, sometimes with a stretch. It suffices to not lose a look at the opponent. By the way, Katsura-kun, thus, was when the stretch to several times me. To be surprised is, up close, not relying also think, just beyond that are separated by a stone monument about 2. The black eye is not stood and painted. In addition, we are facing here in front, in a black face. Now that the white eyes and white teeth can be seen, there is no difference to facing here. Monster I was aware from the best, properly the tailing, then, deliberately into such a lonely cemetery, lured by, might finally to try to challenge the fight. Katsura boy, as if in front of the rats of the cat, the body is gone and froze. Not can also divert the eye, and its pitch-black silhouette like a guy, still, had been together face to face. In the chest, it has been beating likely to tear the heart, at any moment, weather coming jumped, and you have the idea. Suddenly, the monster of white teeth spread to the left and right gu. It is divided into up and down the gakin, and kara voice, such as the strange bird. I began to laugh at what Katsura Mr. somehow, was already feverishly, terrible to see the dream, knowing the dream, really, with the same feeling as when you do not samase ice, to try to shout out, help Clay. Also, as it has become like a press, not a my voices, however, then more of the monster. Neither come apart jumped, while vertical unpleasant laughter, in the shadow of Hoy and the monument, I have hidden themselves, hidden keep in, also that it would be appear and ba. I leave it paralyzed, even if not killed the breath, even wait forever. There is no state that again appear. To say that, it does not seem to be any sign of an left standing from the other side of the monument. If move in situ, in between the monument and the monument, must see the Kairojiru and black shadow, in the deep sea cemetery that was silenced is the bottom of. It is all alone, feeling that was left behind, which is not to also intended to move toward, just cold stone. Katsura-kun, it was feels comfortable that dream to dream, barely retaken care, to the other side of the stone monument a monster stood up to the best, and try by timidly and near. There is the other empty. There is no such people sign. Just to be sure, also try walking around all over the around here, where there is no black people figure also. Even if crawling on the ground. If move the location, although there is no will, not move to hear of the eye, because it did not seem even a little. You do not have a way with wonder. That monster is the demon of the West. Put out a pack and smoke, as would disappear, not considered only to have vanished in the air. I wonder if that guy was still haunted. Suddenly, and I think so, Katsura-kun, I feared that was the stand to endure is come welled up from the bottom of the belly, while screaming that the unexpected may have something enigmatic, and jump out of the cemetery feverishly. Breath even Tade was fledgling toward the bright town. Katsura boy, the monster in the cemetery, that disappeared like smoke. I believe firmly even Nochi. However, I think that there is such a thing. If black demon is that it is human beings, Nanny will merges into the air. Do not you that it is not considered at all kidnapping. After 2 days from when there is a cemetery of the event, After all night 8 o'clock. It is out of Hajime Shinizaki, from the venerable your gates, and the elegant lady of about 30 years old, by the round pretty couture and girl, came out. Lady started Mr. Amp, but the girl is a small cousin. The two have come to play in the evening to Shinizaki-kun you out. Now, it is such the place to go. Aunt intends to pick up the car out to the main street, by the hand of the girl. The town keep-palm has dark pale. I walked at the quick pace. Then even if also, from the back of Futari, it appeared a black shadow of example. Monster is transmitted to the fence from the fence. Footsteps without any. Little by little, gradually approaching the Futari, and I think was on the proximity of just 1 meter. Suddenly, with jumps over the pretty girl. Under his arm it has faced that Inasaru what? Lady was surprised, tried to sugary Tsuko to the other party. Black shadow, raised quickly one leg, Kitaoshi the women, so as to weigh in on it. Bared that white teeth, laughing in kara, directly below, while Lady fallen. It was the first time at the sight of the other party. Then, when it is found that it's Black Demon to listen to the rumors. Too much of fear. Remains crying up. I have Utsubushi to the ground. In the meantime, Monster brought the girl somewhere to but running as I got me in. The Black Demon. When you say weather was a terrible kidnapping. Apart it was not even so. In the late at night it is I understand. It was another 11 o'clock. About 1 kilometer from Shinizaki-kun of the Ouchi was also away. Of still Tamagawa trained along. A certain lonely mansion town. One of the policemen is, and has been visited plugging away. Even pedestrian traffic in no way in the middle. A girl of about 5 was meeting to have standing still weeping griping. It was kidnapped in the best black monster. It was a small cousin of Shinizaki-yu. Because it is still very young children. Even if asked many a policeman. But was not able to answer anything clearly. The words of Broken and Pepper, and try to determine in conjunction tie. Black monster, kidnapping a child, somewhere lonely it took to hear Oppa, giving such as sweets, while maintaining a good mood. But I seem to have asked the name, the Sachiko Kimura, and you answer as you are taught to mom. Monster, it becomes violently to the old, while Suteoi the Sachiko to it, was of that has gone to somewhere. Apparently, from before and after the appearance, the monster will not be considered only to have the person difference. Since the good anyone, rather than because you saw our children, aimed at people who were there decided, I think seems was with human difference. In the heck, will was who the people the difference. That the next day, Aro Sugi Bayani, again, it was to occur such a commotion. Location was the previous still Shinizaki-kun you out. Now it is not a night, but is that of waiting during the day. Just in front of the gate, a girl of about the neighborhood of 4 or 5 is to where you are playing with only one person. The matrix of Jindong shop was Torikakari. In the disguise of Tonge Seizun, to top a man was hanging a large drum to the chest. Young couture woman of Shimizu Hiki. Silk hat and swallowtail clothing villa handed out, such as Hatamochi of happy figure is, side by side in a row. According to the music, we walked shaking the hips, from the most back of the matrix, wearing a baggy clown clothing dandara dyed white and red, wearing a hat pointed with a bell ahead. Put your face in like a westerner clown in the face man who is we have with the dizzy. If you look at the girl in the temple of Shinizaki house, Inazami Choshi, was beckoning. The girl looked cheerful nature. Remains invited, smiling, was rushed to near the man of clown clothes. Then clown clothes. Let this up. While referred to as a beautiful amenbo had in hand, it was not held in the girl's hand. More because you oodles up come to hear, while clown clothes say such a thing. By the hand of the girl. Keep walking Gungin, children, and hung the star of the beautiful candy. Remains to be pulled a hand. We keep up with, however, and went even walked about 100 meters. A man of clown clothes suddenly, off the column of Jindong's shop, while brought the girl. It has been to the lonely side street. People of Jindong shop is, without any how apart wonder it. We walk straight, clown clothes, and turn to the alley, and accelerate the gung and legs. A girl was Sureko me into the woods near the shrine. Uncle Chan, where are you going? Girls, while loincloth, look in the empty, there is no forest. Still, or not noticed, it asks innocently. It's a nice place. Sweets and there is oodles of Dahal, a good place. Man of clown clothes. Rashiku not in Tokyo of people. In the lead no reason to have it. One that. Separated while. I say likely difficulty nice. Mislooked to say Mama example. What that name is that? Atachi, Taha-chan. Girls, you answer innocent. More real name? Name of your father is? Of Teiyu Miyamoto. Miyamoto. Is it true? Do not Shinizaki. I different. Miyamoto. In Out, which was playing a little while ago, do you not out of the daughter? Yes, among the different Ayatachi, the more small. When asked much, man of clown clothes, and release the hand of suddenly Taha-chan. In your face. It made a tut-tut and check. And, do not say a thing also another thing. The girl in the Oitekabori the into the woods. I have walked away to Sasa and somewhere. Before long, the strange events. Girl named Taha-chan. Come back crying. Because I told her mother. Becomes the rumors of the town. Was entered in the police of the year. Because it is a young girl of the report. Does not mean the question and answer of in the forest was found in detail. Clown clothes Jindong shop is. As Yusiri sorrow the Taha-chan. Only it seems to have got good in the middle is. To understand while dimly directly below. It is the same way as the eve of the black demon. Finally, who I wonder, is that a girl of about 5 is near-aware. Has been clear. Speaking of girl of about 5, also to Hajime Shinizaki, just around that year, I have a pretty sister. By chance the monster is aiming. Either it is quite sure that I will not in the girl of the Shinizaki house. Taken together the front and back of the circumstances. Do not have very much seems ish so. Toga's Sumida River. Toga's Forest of Ueno. Anywhere in Tokyo. Represent that eerie appearance. A black shadow that had been naughty. We have narrowed a location appear gradually. Referred to as the place where Shoichi Mr. Katsura there was out. Referred to as the place where a small cousin of Shinizaki-kun has been kidnapped. This time also. Referred to as the place where Taha-chan was about to be taken away. As the center of everyone Shinizaki-kun you out I have. Whether the purpose of the monster is why, has been found little by little. However, just or kidnapping the children, that you could or shake the money to the child hostage. Nothing disguised as something black shadow. Never otakasu the people. Something to this. We must to have more and more deep scheming. Jewelry curse. Well, the girl was playing in front of the gate has been kidnapped. Is that of the night? Hajime Shinizaki of your father is a Hajoni worry likely your appearance. Pale and pale, the mother and the star-kun, and along, now called you to the back of the parlor. Hajime it is of your father, the kind of sink was your state, had never seen even before the after. Heck probably copper nasu. What would happen if Mother Norstart-kun was about chest-pounding in the concern? Your father in front of the alcove of the parlor will become sitting with his arms folded in the alcove, always on top of the rosewood of the platform that is a view of the vase. You tonight is put things strange. The inside in a square box that was taut with velvet purple. Shiny as terrible. Contains the ball of about 1 centimeter in diameter. Hajime-kun, such a beautiful jewelry, that it is in you out did not know any until now. I still, in ye, surrounding this gem. I had never talked of the horrible curse. I did not believe such a story. Let a boring story, and do not be worried about ye wondering. It was silent until today. but, already, it can no longer be kept hidden to ye. Commotion not Obika girl from last night. I think very much so not a Tadakoto. I unexpected must beware. Quote, your father is a Ucha Shizune's voice. That's something Hajoni serious. Could be to try to become a story. And this gem, in between of the incident from last night. You say even in the anything related to the in there you do. Mother also gone pale in the same way as your father now can ask them to kill the breath. That's right, this gem. I terrible curse is haunting. The story it has been found that it is not bullshit. You as well know. This gem is, 2 years ago, when I went to China. Something that was owed to buy from foreigners there in Shanghai. But it was cheap badly. Not caught to 1/10 of the market value. Was the price that 57,000 yen. I thought that was a great bargain. He was not pleased, but at a later, according to the place where foreigners with another told me to me and along. This stone strangely not Dundinan, there is a story. Those who know the circumstances. Nobody because was something not going to buy. So, in such a cheap price. But because I wonder was supposed to be made at the hand. It is because the fate spoken. Quote, your father is a bit off the words and so do tomato soba to futari, we may leave a beckoning. Hajime-kun. But we promoted the knee toward the little your father. And feel like listening to somehow horrible ghost story. More of the back has become uso sabuku. Perhaps because of the gas. Always bright lights are. Tonight, you will feel no reason dimly. This gem. The original is in the Indian hinterland. Of your principal image of some old temples. It seems to be a thing that had fit to the forehead of a large Buddha statue. Hajime would have ever learned in school. That a thing. It occurred thing. But also a previous story 100 years from now. If there is a war in the vicinity of the temple, to the temple would be burnt. Died a lot of people. At that time, the jewelry that had fit in the face of the Buddha. It's the enemy had to go with. Then, jewelry over a variety of the human hand. Were being taken to buy towards the Europe. Because gem with Hajoni worth. Nikki buy in any one high price. In addition, at the time of the war, princess of the lord of the village has died when enemy of Tama. It seems to have been a young beautiful princess. But the lord is not only became come very much cherish. Indians of the village was honored the princess as god. The importance of the one who is, when enemy of Tama, died ephemeral. Indian people of the villages. These two sad events, did not forget forever. Must you by Kesa the urna should be called the life of Buddha. Must song the doers of the princess. That of the two is tied to one. He became a curse that haunts this gem. It is a hot village of the most faith even in India. One in the villages, to believe is the gas difference the Buddha. But that was not honored. For Buddha, what trials and tribulations not be willing. It's an ethos that throw away anytime something life. So, hurt his precious Buddha, the foreign military personnel that took the life of the daughter of a feudal lord. The resolution is to punish on behalf of the Buddha, on behalf of the village, the daredevil that used the terrible magic of Futari Indians, had to walk to travel around the world looking for the enemy. If that they came died, another young man is dispatched, and, even in decades, even hundreds of years, is a gem to return to the forehead of the original Buddha. That this curse cannot be solved. Since then, things have this jewel is aimed to guy constantly black, when especially there's a young girl in the house. So say that it is revenge of the princess. When first kidnapping the girl, kill secret, the corpses, no matter how the police is looking for. But that cannot be found. As that quarrel talk heard the foreigners there in Shanghai. It was well such food thing. Of course, I did not trust or not there is that such a stupid. This is surely, to have foreigners also want so jewel that was the story. Because I had bought earlier. Let talking about roots there is no ghost story. From me I thought that there is no difference in mind Nikki buy a jewel in the original value. and until very recently, such a story had gone completely forget. However, last night even today, as the center our house, and see the young girl was kidnapped. Also, the kidnapping was the guy's, and Omo Iwasaru that was a black monster. Apparently, you've been worse. Because I have exactly matched the fate story of example. Quote, so, when the green chan out might be kidnapped, do you say da? Mother is gone longer surprised. At any moment, is about the Nasu trying to stand up in order to protect the green chan. Because green chan is the younger sister of Star-kun of the year 5 years old. Yeah, and that's so. However, now is good not have to worry about. If put us here. Because green is he safe. However, after the future, so is not out to play the green to the outside. I want you to have that you do not always keep an eye also in the house. Quote, indeed, as you say of your father, to the room you are playing the green chan, not pass through the parlor is not go, and, in the next to the green chan, you should ba little maid is attached. But, Dad, I am funny. The Indians. Is not that should I revenge only to foreigners at that time who committed the crime at the beginning, made it by now, in Nanti return the doers. Quote, Hajime-kun did not fall to Damafu. However, I'm not so, whether in the sinner fact was made a hand. Now, to those that have a gem, because the curse is applied, and therefore, the person who suffered the nuisance also go people in Europe am certain of. Fear or become too sick. But that is also what the gas was are different. Quote, is that so? It sounds as a story that does not gibberish. Oh, there is a good thing. Dad would have entered the My Boy detective team. So, when the Star-kun has not let bounce your voice, your father has become a comedy. Ha ha ha, it does not too much for you our hands. Opponent hey because Indian magician. You know you am as those of Indian magic is in the mystery of the world. Of one throwing nawa in the air, down the match for through that, as in like climbing trees. Child, because of that go up into the sky. From it, dug a deep hole in the ground. The guy that has been buried my intits. From standing also in February also in January. When we dug the soil. That is perfectly alive, even terrible magic. Now the Indians, and I think we're sown the seeds in the ground. A moment, it's sprouted, extending stems, leaves fly, things like that flowers bloom, pull off before breakfast race so I, quote, well, if not go with us. Akechi what about you consult? Akechi teacher to teacher. After all like a magician. Anyo 20 countenance. Because it better to Nasu comfortably arrest. Hajime-kun was goodish or else proud. If Akechi detective, how much the other party that Indian witch, and not Palm never lose. I believe firmly. Yeah, if Akechi teacher, hey there may be a good idea, even tomorrow, or trying to be seen as consultation. Your father is also Dasa has Akechi detective did not want to not take off the helmet. However, the black demon is, or will give us the grace to tomorrow. The story of the beginning Mr. Us. A guy the other. From the outside of the sliding door. Or I am quite sure that I will not then have been properly overheard. The black hand. At that time, what is the beginning Kuna saw? Make up a small cry. While staring at the alcove at the back of your father. It has become as fossil. There was no one saying it's Star-kun of the face. And it has become a pale. Eyes wide open to jump out. Open and poke in the mouth. Was like a creepy living doll. Your father is also mother also. In Nasu, scaring the appearance of the Star-kun. Hurry. But now the alcove of the better to see. Then, the face of your futari also. Such the same way as the Star-kun. The terrible facial expression I would behalf. Look. Alcove of the side of the drawing room window. Not open to the details without a sound. Then, from the gap, it is one of the black hand. Not Bindasa luck and new. Oh, do not go. I think or even Arasa not. His hand was a jewelry box garden tub to grab. Then, the black hand is quiet. Also, I have disappeared from the gap of the original shoji. Black Demon is, in front of 3 people's eyes, also fearless. It was took away the curse of jewelry. Your father as well, also started Kun, within much of the sudden. And I was completely amazed, let alone the pouncing in black hands. Forget even to stand the seat. But I was stunned. Black hand when the will is retracted, has finally regained sanity. First, your father is, Amaikun, Ikushimono, came early. If now in a secretary in a loud voice. You, the Green Chan, is that of the mother is your voice that Iwazu. Yeah, it also come on. Your father is, by immediately opening the bran, along with the mother, are the Green Chan, but was go by ran to the room. The fortunately Green Chan did not have everything. On the other hand, to the voice of your father, Amai and secretary rushed in a hurry, and the start-kun, the glass door of the corridor had become to remain empty one. Jumping from there to the garden, keep track of the Kushimono did. Black monster has run in front of with ice, in the dark garden, because we follow a black guy, but was quite laborious. Fortunately, around the garden, such as not to come very ride, a high concrete fence, and guru, because it is surrounded, once cornered the Kushimono defense I, another. I such hear of things. Yuzuru of the draft, Kushimono seemed was embarrassed by Yukiata to the fence. Instead of the direction of the fence began to run along the ring. The fence I, Toka's tall blue gilly, Toka's azalea that are overgrown low. Yes, planted a variety of trees. Kushimono is painted the trees standing. Low bushes to jump over. Will continue to run like the wind. However, thus in between running a little, it happens to be a truly strange Kushimono black appearance of, and I think I did jump one of the low Shiga mi. Though, as ninjutsu Sukai, I had vanished. Start you guys. Surely the bush's shadow, thought either crouching hidden, but went close with precaution. We found that there is no one. Kushimono is not considered only with had evaporated. After a while, in the news of the phone, but Futari of the policeman came, and the policeman, and those in the houses the division of labor, in the light of a flashlight. But I was looking up to every nook and corner of the garden. After all suspicious empty it could not be found. Of course it did not can also regain the gem. To be continued. Thank you for your viewing. If you like please subscribe to the channel. I am very encouraged.